You know, it's always good to get the first win. I felt like we came out, we started fast. I really liked our first 3 or 4 possessions on offense. I felt like defensively we were really good too. We had a few 3-and-outs early. But again, it was a good win. I thought also it was a good opportunity in the second half to play a lot of guys, and it was good to see. It's always good, you know, it's a long year, so when you get those opportunities, that's always a plus, just to get a chance to see, you know, who's making plays and who's going to give you some solid depth. So it was, all in all, it's a good win. It's just good to get the first one.
What was Quiz doing so right today, Coach?
Quiz is a good football player. He is. The good thing, though, is we have, and I said this earlier, I think we have 3 or 4, maybe even 5 wide receivers that have that ability. So he's a guy that, you know, it's hard to say, oh, let's focus on Quiz, because the other ones can go too. So tonight was kind of his night. It seemed like he got the balls and made the opportunity, but we have a lot of weapons out there, and so that's always a good thing.
Abraham seemed really on point.
Yeah, he did.
Spots, especially in the first half. Have you seen a lot in practice, or is that as good as you've seen?
You know, Pat, I think Jack had a good game. I think Jack understands he's got to do it week in and week out. He's a level-headed young man, and I think he understands that, you know, it's one game. But again, I was pleased. I thought he moved us well. I thought he managed the game extremely well. So I was really proud of his effort. I thought Tate Watley came in and really did some good things with his time in the game. So, you know, again, I thought, you know, it was good to see Marcelo get a few shots too, but it was good to see those guys operate. But again, I felt like Jack did a good job in the first half running our offense.
Was the plan to give Marcelo and Tate both playing time to get
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. I think one thing we've got to, you know, always work on is developing as many players as we can. I think that's the journey, and quarterback for sure is no exception at that position. So it was good to see those guys again in action, and I really thought Tate had a good second half.
Quiz obviously was hobbled, but is he okay?
He's okay. Yeah. He had just a little shin contusion, but he'll be okay.
You guys said earlier in the week you probably you're doing a run back by committee. That's exactly what you guys did.
Yeah, that's what we did, didn't we? You know, you look at the running backs. You know, I thought Tez did some really good things early. I thought Steven ran with some power, and I thought Trubinsky really showed me a lot of things for a true freshman. You know, he's a young man that's got it exceptionally fast and quick, and so again, that was good to see those guys get some solid playing time, and again, I think it was good to see some of those freshmen. You know, I talk about Tate and Trubinsky. Some of those guys showed me a lot tonight.
Nice to see Jordan Mitchell out there, especially.
It was. I'm so glad to see Jordan out there. Jordan had some nice grabs. So it was really a beautiful ball between Jack and Jordan there in the end zone. Nice grab, and I think again, I think Tim, you know, Chris Reed is another young man, a freshman that a real sophomore that did a lot of good things. So I thought our receiving core. We're getting healthy and they're playing well.
Being a former SWAC head coach, how did you think Jackson State? Being a former SWAC head coach at University, how do you think Jackson State? I mean, and what Tony Hughes is kind of done with the
they're a good
program?
football team, and I told them that after the game. They've got some talent on the football team. They really do, and I think they're going to be having a really good football season. I really do. You know, just when they came in, just watching them, I can tell that they're a talented football team, and again. They're going to pick up some W's this year for sure. So, again, a lot of respect. I thought they played really well. They kept fighting in the second half. Just saw a lot of good things from the football team.
It seemed like it was kind of hard. Did Jackson State really focus on taking away the ground game? Because it wasn't easy to get some.
You know, I would say, Patrick, a lot of times they did. You know, I'd say it's a fair statement. A lot of times they had pretty stout boxes, but again, I felt like you know we certainly kind of pride ourselves on wanting to run ball, but they were kind of giving us some things that we just decided, hey, we might as well take it. So at the end of the day, I felt like that's why I thought Jack did a good job managing the game.
You have Picasso Nelson back this year. What do you like from the secondary tonight?
You know, I told you earlier, I've talked a lot about those guys. We're a talented outfit back there. And those guys, you know, you saw the plays Rayshawn made, and how about Ty Williams? I've been singing his praises for a while too. And this one game does not a season make. They know they got to come to play next week. But those guys, Kyle Hemby is a young man that had a nice pick. Xavier Marion had scored a touchdown. Xavier's got some experience with us, but there was a lot of guys. I thought Tyler Barnes played well. Shannon Showers had a pick, you know, and we're talented back there. We really are. There's a lot of speed and agility, and you know, I'm looking forward to watching. And the fun thing, these guys all have a lot of time left too, so it's going to be a fun bunch to watch.
Going off those guys, DQ got the start, ended up leading the team in tackles. What do you see to him to give him the start?
I mean, well, DQ is, again, you know, I always say he's a junior, so we got a few first timers, but we do have some solid age back there, and he played like a veteran, and you know, DQ's a really good football player. You know, just again, I think between DQ and Kyle and Ty and some of those guys that we recruited last year, I was high on them, and they played well tonight. They know, hey, we got a big challenge next week. We got to get back and go to war. And, but again, they're talented players.
Jay, didn't you try to recruit Jack after you got this job?
Oh, I did. I actually did, for sure. It was like a short turnaround, and he had already committed, and so it was what it was, you know. And to be honest with you, the ironic thing was he went to Northwest. I signed Tate Watley, and we weren't going to take another quarterback. So what happened was Tate tore his ACL like the first week of October, and when he tore his ACL, you know how you are as coaches, you sit around there, it's almost like a blessing, because when Tate tore his ACL, it was like, well, you know, is he going to be ready next year or not? You know, and you didn't know. So we went ahead, Rick, and made a decision to sign a junior college quarterback. And I'd known Jack and how he played in high school. And of course, we wanted him out of high school. So I just said, well, we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger. We didn't make that decision. Like I said, we really weren't going to lean that way until Tate got hurt. But he's proved, again, Jack's a kid that at Oxford was a winner and proved a lot of great things, and you know, he had a really good game today.
It seems to be a lot like Nick.
You know, I've made that comparison. Now that being around him, they kind of remind me a lot of each other. I think Jack's a little bit better athlete as far as now. I don't say that Nick's an NFL great quarterback, but Jack's foot speed is probably just a hair better. But you know, I can't give him that status because Nick's already proved it until he goes out there and does it. But Jack is a guy that can run. He's got a little bit better foot speed, but again, they remind me a lot of each other. And I just think, again, and you talk about Nick Mullins, you're talking about one of the all-time greats that ever put on the black and gold. So we're not going to give him that status yet. He's going to have to go out there and earn it for a lot more games. But again, there are some similarities, having been around both of them and coached both of them. I see some similarities for sure.
Coach, offensively, the first half, from series to series, y'all look like we're putting on a clinic, obviously, so congratulations for that. But the second half, it looked like a little misdirection plays from the coaching aspect, from a fake counter, fake power, at least, you know, the quarterback, instead of giving it off and reading it. Was that some kind of strategy you guys were working on putting together?
No, I think it goes back like what Pat was saying earlier. You know, that's just part of the read progressions, you know, for that play. And I thought Tate did a good job there, you know. So, again, I thought he came in. I really did. I felt like he moved our offense well. They had one quarterback tailback exchange. Peter Trubinsky did going in, which you know, we just kind of held on to the ball a little bit too long, and it caused a fumble. But other than that, I really felt like he did a good job in the second half.
Right. After the misplay on that first punt return, were you surprised the club was able to go 81 just a couple plays later, kind of recover from that?
You know, that was, you know, it really was. I mean, but he's a talented athlete and a talented young man. So we need, and those guys like that are playmakers. We need them to make plays. I mean, that's one thing I do think we have. I think we have a lot of speed, and we have some guys that can make plays with the ball in their hands, and we need them to.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. All right.